Hey everyone, AJ here, and welcome back to the Battle of the Builders Marathon. I'll be here every night this week checking out each episode of Battle of the Builders, leading up to the premiere on the History Channel this Sunday, February 7th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not gonna lie, I look forward to getting to SEMA each year and seeing who is gonna shine on our stage. This was our third year, and at this point, the word was out that this was the competition to enter and win. So enjoy the show, and I'll see you guys at the end. Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, and SEMA, the largest aftermarket trade show on the planet.
And if you love cars and automotive culture, this is the place to be.
And before long, we'll be crowning the best builder in America.
We've got the most talented automotive artisans in the country going head-to-head to find out who is the best.
These are, without a doubt, some of the most incredible rides you've ever seen. But in the end, there can only be one top builder.
This is SEMA Battle of the Builders, and the action starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to one of the most prestigious automotive competitions in the country.
This is SEMA Battle of the Builders, and this is where legends are born. The Specialty Equipment Market Association, or SEMA, is not only responsible for holding the largest specialty automotive show in the world, but for taking industry hopefuls and turning them into industry icons. Battle of the Builders is a competition for those with the vehicle on display. Premier automotive trade show in the world, the SEMA show. If you're building a car or truck for the upcoming SEMA show, you can be recognized for your hard work and potentially become America's next top builder.
SEMA is open, and the industry attendance is through the roof. If you want to see the latest in automotive technology, innovation, and of course artistry, there is no better place to be.
And the Battle of the Builders has become a main event here at SEMA. This is the third year of the competition, and in just that short amount of time, it's found itself amongst the top ranks of the automotive competitions in the country. Over the past 2 years, we've witnessed the impact the event has had on a few hopeful builders and watched as judges poured over hundreds of submissions, picking the top contenders for each of our 3 categories: hot rods, trucks and off-road, and sport compacts.
And this year, the only difference is we've got more talent and a whole lot more submissions. Needless to say, our judges have a big job ahead of them.
Dudes, it's deja vu all over again. One more time. Picking the Battle of the Builders for SEMA. Get ready. I'm pleased to see that my pack is about the same and you guys have gotten heavier.
Yeah, which is good.
Now, last night, before the show officially opened, our judges spent a long evening scaling a mountain of submissions, finally narrowing their selection down to the significant 7 for each category.
Our esteemed judges are David Freiberger of Hot Rod Magazine fame and current executive producer and host of several shows on Motor Trend On Demand.
Then, over to the rougher side of the industry with Brett Williams, editor of Peterson's 4-Wheel and Off-Road and host of Dirt Every Day.
And finally, RJ DeVera, former editor of Super Street Magazine, a consultant on the first Fast and the Furious movie, and current resident at McGuire's as their marketing and communications leader.
So we need to pick 7 today?
7 each. You know what's burning me bad? Is that this has got so competitive, there's a whole lot more cars that I need to pick from, and they're all way more extreme than they have been in the past.
Durelli Performance, we're a performance cooling company. What we're bringing to SEMA this year is a 1966 Mercury Cyclone GT stock car. We ran a 351 Windsor-based motor, stroked it. Kent Lothringer built the headers for us. And we're running TCI front A-arm suspension. We're running a 3-link in the rear with a 9-inch Curry rear end. The SEMA show itself, yeah, the world's largest showcase. It's the place to unveil a car like this. To be considered for SEMA Battle of Builders is way bigger than I've ever expected. I really admire a lot of those guys that we've seen on TV, the big builders, and to be able to have a car that's even considered is huge.
You're starting a shop and you're in Bogalusa, Louisiana, or Fresno, California, or Martin, Tennessee, what a great way to build your business, but to be in the Battle of the Builders. You may not be the winner the first time you're in, but this is a great way to get your name out there.
My name is Kirk Howland. This year I'm bringing a 2013 Dodge Charger. Originally, it was my daily driver. Then, started adding parts here, there. Got to the point where we were putting on too many parts. It's like, well, maybe I shouldn't be driving it every day. We got Asante rims. I got air ride suspension in it. A lot of painted interior parts and engine bay parts. They're all hydro dip. First time I went to SEMA, it's like a kid in a candy store. I mean, it's so much to take in. I mean, you just don't know where to start.
SEMA is a huge platform. Just to have the ability to actually place a car in that show is phenomenal. I mean, I'm speechless.
It's the biggest car show in the world. I mean, if you can get this show, then I think you're doing something good.
And I'm going to see a lot more stuff that I'm probably going to put in here at this year's show.
It's one of the few competitions where you can have the Riddler winner versus the Amber winner versus the Barrett Jackson Cup winner.
All in the same place.
After a long night of deliberation, we finally got our official top 21 for SEMA Battle of the Builders.
This is the announcement of our top 21 for our Battle of the Builders. So we'll start with truck and off-road. First up, Chris Payne for his 2016 Chevy Colorado Diesel. Brad DeBerti for his 2017 Ford Raptor. Kenny Hawk with a 1948 Kaiser Willys pickup truck. Greg Hicks for his 2015 Chevy Colorado. Randy Weaver with a 1938 Diamond T-Hauler. John Cole for a 1966 Ford Bronco. Mark Turner for his 1958 Jeep FC170. Ready for Sport Compact Tuner. Ernie Menenzala for his 2014 Nissan GTR. Big Mike for his 1992 Honda Prelude. Dominic Lee for his 1974 Datsun 260Z. Gordon Ting for his 2016 Prius. Jeremy Lakovsky for his 2017 Toyota Corolla. Next up we have Igor Polishchuk for his 1989 BMW 325IS. Anthony DeGuzman for his 1993 Toyota Supra. The final category, the hot rod category. Starting off, we have Jeremy and Phil Gerber for their 1967 Chevy Chevelle Onyx. Next up, Kyle Tucker and his 1941 Willys two-door coupe. Mike and Jim Ring with their 1969 Chevy Camaro. Jesse Greening for a 1961 Chevy two-door sedan. Next up, Cam Miller for his 1969 Chevy Camaro. Mike and Jim Ring, once again, for their 1948 Cadillac this time. And lastly, Jason Pesikonis for his 1965 Ford Mustang.
When we come back, our judges take their expertise down to the SEMA floor.
And now they've got to take their top 21 down to their final top 10.
Don't go away. The competition continues when SEMA Battle of the Builders returns. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the SEMA Battle of the Builders.
Well, already the competition is intense, and now our judges are getting a little exercise walking the SEMA floor, taking a closer look at the top 21 finalists and picking out the very best of the best.
Skyline GTR, I wanted to have something current for imports. As you guys know, there's flares all over the show.
Everything we've looked
Everything
at.
has a flare. It's like the new 30-inch wheel, let's call it.
This is the Timeless Customs 65 Mustang, which is your classic no stone left unturned.
Yeah, exactly.
No panel left untouched. This is all hanging out.
Very red inside.
Bright that is.
The engine is a Ford Illuminator V8. It's got a Magna Charger on it and twin turbos.
So triple charged?
Yes, triple charged. Oh, wow.
So,
Which is which?
so we're actually judging the hauler.
So what were we judging? project, the hauler?
Yeah, not the one that's on the bed, which is actually kind of a cool truck also.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah, truck guys are going for diesel swaps a lot these days, and the Cummins engine is like the one to go to.
It has great freak factor.
Yep.
So this is probably the import that has the most fabrication work on the body.
It's Toyota's 50th anniversary for the Corolla. Coincidentally, it's 50 years for SEMA. Pretty cool. Our goal was taking history back to 50 years for Toyota, and the Corolla was a two-door coupe. So we were able to come up with kind of a happy medium of old school and new school together. So we started with the 2017 Corolla, four-door base, and we converted it to the ultimate two-door coupe. It's got all new body lines, it's got a turbocharged engine, it's got audio, so it's got a little bit of everything. Top 21. It's a huge honor. It makes all those long nights and hours well worth it. It's just gonna make us build something better for next year.
What's the story on this one?
So we're looking at a 1993 Supra, near and dear to my heart. Probably too much time on the Fast and Furious set.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it just comes together, you know? It's got everything that you could do to import that most import guys do, but it's not so overbearing that's annoying. Actually, like the black and white combo, the stance, the fender flares aren't overly aggressive. So
it's got a good feel. It's a done right, pretty typical car.
Yep.
Early Broncos are really popular right now, and building kind of retro race trucks, desert race trucks is really popular.
We just got done building my new 1966 half-cab Bronco. What's unique about it is we bowed out the rear bed sides to accommodate and keep it uncut. So it still looks original, old school. But yet we can cycle our full long travel suspension on there with the Bill Stein triple bypass shocks on it. Once we got the BFG tires mounted up on US Mag wheels, we decided we need some horsepower. We built a Cobra 5.0 engine of it. Going to SEMA is huge. I just hope that we can at least do halfway well. I know the competition's really high. It's epic.
SEMA is all about constructing the future of our industry. And this year, Battle of the Builders is putting some special attention on the next generation of automotive superstars, the young guns, the new kids putting their all into their craft, hoping to turn heads and make a lasting impression.
And there is no better place to get noticed than right here at SEMA.
For being a competition that's relatively fresh, it's quickly becoming the holy grail of awards and competitions because you're up against the best, not only in the country, but the world. There's cars from all over the place, and it's just an awesome experience, and it does volumes for the shop. It's great exposure. It's just becoming a really big deal, basically. Yeah.
And while our judges keep at it, we have the honor of introducing an old friend, industry icon, and one of the biggest proponents of the Young Gun Initiative, the one and only Chip Foose.
Chip, let's talk about the future of the industry.
I love what I'm doing, and I love the fact that when I build a car, I might see something in one of the other builders, you know, where we inspired something that they're doing. But I also learned from them. But it's the youth that is the future of this industry and the future of SEMA. There's some fantastic cars here that some younger guys have built. And, you know, I feel the pressure because I've got to compete with them too. Speaking of the young guns, we actually paid a visit to a few of them during their build in Orange County.
And our cameras went along with them. Let's check it out.
My name is John Nyberg. My shop's name is Rides by John.
You gonna make it?
What's up, Chip?
How are you?
How you doing, brother?
How's your project coming?
It's coming, man. What we're bringing this year is a 57 Chevy Bel Air that we basically want to have the outside appearance of the car to resemble a 57 Chevy, but we want the car to be all modern underneath it. We ran high-end air brakes on it. We put air ride technologies on. We went with a Chevy LS1 motor out of the Corvette in it. We put a Diffworks rear-end differential in the car. We put Raceline wheels on it with Pirelli tires. We ran a 335 tire in the back. So we're still doing 18, 20 hours a day right now, and we will until we're sitting in that parking lot at SEMA. That's what it takes to build a car this level.
You're going to be part of a big group that's all competing for SEMA's Battle of the Builders. What does that mean to you?
To me, that's an incredible honor.
Well, this is exciting. I can't wait to see this at SEMA. And I want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Chip.
And and welcome to SEMA's Battle of the Builders.
The storybook ending to me isn't about winning. It's about showing my build to the world and letting other people see what I can do.
While we're in the neighborhood, we're gonna go check out another young gun, Dominic at Chasing Jays, and his Z project.
I don't want to make it more beautiful.
What are you looking for?
Oh, what's up, Chip?
Dominic, John, this looks cool.
Thank you. Oh, man, this is an honor.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I love these cars.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
So Chasing Jays.
yeah, it's our little home garage that we put together. The whole definition of it is that we always be chasing Japanese classic cars.
Well, show me the car. Tell me
Sure.
what you're doing.
This is a 1974 260Z. We're using a original work style kit which came out during the 80s in Japan. A lot of purists would probably look at us and say, why are you cutting up a one-year production car? And that's the whole part of SEMA, right? It's just so we can push the envelope a little bit and bring something creative to the table.
Well, I've always loved this body style, and I think it's cool what you're doing.
We are using a 2JZ from a Toyota Supra. We converted to a single large turbo. The whole entire setup is powered by Adaptronic electronic. We're running some 1600 cc's injectors, custom intercooler, custom radiator by CSF coolant. SEMA is the coolest car show on the planet. It's the only car show where you see everything, and not just the exotic, not just the domestic, but you see everything. You see stuff that your mouth just drops. SEMA is a great place where you develop new concepts, new ideas. You see new products coming out. It's the only place where you see an amateur guy meet somebody like Chip Foose. A lot of the young gun builders are pushing the envelope, pushing the limit on what a build should be. The older guys are like, whoa, I never thought of that. And I think that's what will push our industry even further, into the future. Sometimes the student just got to be the teacher.
It's been a huge day here at SEMA, and as the show winds down for the evening, our judges are still at it.
Wowzers.
Complete and total overkill.
It's designed for overkill, though. Look at the chop on the cab. I think it's a Chevy Colorado, but man, they've pulled that much out of it. It has style, it has flair, it has mohawk.
Top 10.
Is it in your top?
It's definitely my top 7 because of the amount of work that's in it.
You can't call this a rat rod because it's not ratty garbage. It's well-executed curb appeal.
This year, luckily, we started to get more of the Euro cars entering, and it's great to see that because the Euro movement is just as big a part of the import movement as the Japanese and Korean cars are.
Oh yeah, this is all really nice.
Yeah.
Coming up, we announce the top 10 contenders.
When SEMA Battle of the Builders returns.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Ira Gabriel from SEMA. I'm joined by Mike Robledo and Joe Cerbigandio from the Battle of the Builders team. And Mike, this was the year we had a lot more young builders participating in the competition.
This was the year that we started to recognize the younger builders. If you were 35 or under and in the top 21, you received a special designation. It's the year that we got to meet Brad DeBerti and Cam Miller for the first time in this season. Guys that continue to impress us today. And Mark Turner's Jeep, that thing was wild. And we start to see the push to make something really unique stand out in the competition.
Anybody who knows me knows I'm a mini bike nut. And that year I bought a custom mini bike that Jake Moe built called Frankenstein. And as that cruise ended and people headed off to the Battle of the Builders competition, I pulled that cord on Frankenstein and I rode that bike up Silver Drive, past my favorite place, Piero's, into the gold lot. People were going nuts. It was unreal.
As a matter of fact, I do remember that. I think you ran over my foot. Hey, listen, for more information on the Battle of the Builders program, catch SEMABOTB.com. And don't forget to join us this weekend for the 2020 SEMA Battle of the Builders premiere on the History Channel. Check your local listings. Well, there's a lot more action. Let's get you right back at it.
Welcome back to the SEMA Battle of the Builders.
And here at the Las Vegas Convention Center, amongst the sight of cool cars and the sound and smell of burning rubber, our steadfast judges spent the wee hours of last night slimming down the competition to just a select group of finalists.
From the top 21 down to the top 10. Guys, I gotta say, I do not envy your jobs.
It was a tough one this year. It always is, but I think
walking.
we put a lot of walking. Actually, we had a counter on it. We went 8 miles last night into the middle of the night, and we genuinely put a lot of thought and consideration to this, and it's gotten more and more difficult here in the 3rd year.
We each had your own categories that you were in charge of. Fred, I'll start with you. What are you seeing in the off-road market?
The off-road guys are really big in diesel engine swaps. They're also upping the caliber of their builds. I think seeing what the hot rod guys do has kind of trickled down to the truck guys, and they're really making it a fit and finish game this year. There's a lot of wild show trucks, but even more so, there's really nice built vehicles that will work off-road, and it's cool to see the young guns in there. They see what the older guys are doing, and they're trying to already jump past them.
David, what about the hot rod market?
Wow, what I'm seeing there is not so much a big change at the very, very top, but a change in volume. People are seeing the styles and the quality of what happened with the builders that have been winning the past couple years. They're mimicking that and bringing up their own level of quality.
RJ, any trends in the imports and tuners?
Yeah, fenders, and more fenders.
Lots
Not
of
just
fender
in the
flares.
tuner world, but in the muscle car world, in the truck world. Rounded, box, molded, bolted. It seems to be just a huge trend. That with bigger wheels. Engine transplants are still big, and bright colors. Young people like bright colors for some reason.
All right, 50th anniversary for SEMA. David, you were saying this is 20-some years for you being here at SEMA.
29 years in, and I cannot believe the change in the footprint, the activities, the cars. It has truly become like the world's greatest car show in addition to a trade show.
And you're right, so much going on inside, and now in today's SEMA, so much going on outside, too. I mean, you guys said 8 miles of ground you covered?
Exactly.
A lot of it was pushing through people just to try and find the cars that we were judging.
Oh yeah, the volume of people in the daytime is crazy. It got to the point where we just have to do the show floor after hours in order to be able to see all the cars. It's just nuts.
Yeah, you're just shoulder to shoulder with it.
So speaking of the top 10, do you have that list?
We do have the list. This was a lot of work. There's some surprises here, not only in the cars, but who's on the list and who's not.
Nice, I will take that. Thank you guys for your hard work. Now go get some sleep.
Get some coffee.
Need it. Caffeine.
All right, huge props to our judges for going the extra mile and narrowing down those 250 submissions to 21 and finally the top 10. And this is a pretty big moment, but honestly, all of the top 21 contenders should already feel victorious. Just to be considered in this competition is a very high honor. And when we come back, we'll find out who has made it into the top 10.
And later, we'll check out the SEMA Cruise, where these incredible rides take over the streets of Las Vegas.
When SEMA Battle the Builders returns.
We're getting closer and closer to awarding the crown to one very talented builder.
Now, this was no easy job for our judges, but they've managed to narrow the field down to an official top 10.
So, without further ado, the top 10 finalists are...
In no particular order, Jeremy and Phil Gerber with their 1967 Chevy Chevelle Onyx.
The best of the best, the most incredible cars are out here at SEMA, and to be in that top 10 cars of the show is absolutely incredible.
Kyle Tucker with his 1941 Willys two-door coupe.
To be able to make 10 and the crowd that's here, the peers that are here with their quality builds, it's an awesome feeling.
The Ring Brothers, Mike and Jim Ring with their 1969 Chevy Camaro.
Battle of Builders, you know, you gotta appreciate all of the work and the effort that all these guys put in. But you know what? It's our turn to win.
Young Gun, Brad DeBerti with his 2017 Ford Raptor.
When I heard my name called for the top 10, my dad and I were standing there, and we were just in shock because, I mean, there's a lot of builders, and, you know, everyone's very talented. I've seen all the trucks, and whenever I heard that, I just chills instantly, man. I was just stoked and just thankful to, you know, just be chosen for the top 10.
Jesse Greening and his 1961 Chevy two-door sedan.
Just to be in the mix with all the other builders that get in there and so forth, just to be considered in that group is a huge honor and love it.
Cam Miller with his 1969 Chevy Camaro.
This is such an honor, such a big deal for little dude up in northern Utah to be a part of this. It's a big deal, big deal.
And another young gun, Big Mike, and his 1992 Honda Prelude.
I got people here with me that are just keeping me
you know, keeping me grounded because I'm floating. They have to pull me down. I'm floating. I feel very blessed and honored that something that I did with a friend of mine is here with some of the biggest names in the industry.
Mike and Jim Ring again with their 1948 Cadillac.
A double for the Ring brothers. That's great.
For us, it's our third year in a row, and you're kind of starting to feel guilty, but not really. And to have 2 in the top 10 it's amazing.
And next is Mark Turner and his 1958 Jeep FC 170.
It's been an amazing ride. To be included in the SEMA Battle of Builders is an amazing feat. To be on stage with the Ring brothers, I mean, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like standing next to these guys.
And Gordon Ting with his 2016 Prius.
To be nominated, top 21, now top 10, it's a huge honor to be recognized at SEMA by other judges and by your peers. It means a lot. It means a lot for me.
There you have it, the official top 10.
Need proof this event can get you noticed? Well, these guys got noticed twice today, but they didn't start out with all this attention.
The first time we ever been to SEMA, we took a car out there, a couple guys that obviously nobody knew.
And it turned into the world finding out. And if it wasn't for SEMA, we wouldn't have got noticed.
This car behind me is a 69 Camaro. There ain't a part on the car that really wasn't touched. The motor in it's a Wagner Motorsports. It's a 416. It actually makes just under 1,000 horsepower. Whipple supercharger on it. It's got a Tremec 6-speed in it, all Flowmaster exhaust. There's probably going to be about 3,500 to 4,000 hours in this car by the time it's done. You know, it takes every one of them hours. We've got a lot of work to do on top of another car that we're trying to debut there also.
The Cadillac is a really special project for us. It's a 48 Cadillac. We not only took a whole car and turned it into a unibody, but we wedge cut the car, we chopped the top. The carbon is off the hook as far as the amount, from all the trim around the windows to side moldings to bumpers, the grille openings. There'll be about 5,000 man-hours when we're done with this project. We did this in 1 year, and I think that's what makes it special, that much work in a current model year.
We've got our hands full, we're scared, and but we'll be there.
All right, we have reached the point in the competition when the judges can finally take a breather, because now we've got the top 10 contenders here on the stage, and they'll be the ones responsible for picking the top 3.
This is the way it's gonna work. Each of our 10 finalists will have the opportunity to pull their ride up on stage and tell the other 9 builders why their project deserves to win.
Once all the vehicles have been judged, we move on to the blind ballot. The only criteria, no builder can vote for themselves.
The builders will make their final picks, but they won't know who's been selected until we make the announcement at the start of the SEMA parade.
The first car to be judged is the Ring Brothers 1969 Chevy Camaro.
Starting off in the grille, the scoops in it are wire EDM'd. The bumpers are all machined, one-piece aluminum. So all the carbon, including the hood, is one-off for this car. Under the hood's a 1,000-horse blown Wagner 413. It's riding on HRE one-off wheels with bare brakes, straight speed suspension. 69 Camaro, we wanted to really leave 69 Camaro when we're done.
There was a lot of machine pieces on this. We really tried to stay true to the Camaro design. I think it worked out.
Everybody stick around. SEMA Battle of the Builders continues right after this.
Welcome back to SEMA Battle of the Builders.
All right now, the top 10 builders are in the process of judging each other, selecting the top 3 finalists.
Each of these rides are amazing examples of automotive craftsmanship, setting the standard for the rest of the world.
But there can only be one winner, and at this point, the judges are out of the picture. Now it's in the hands of the builders themselves.
Up next is Jeremy and Phil Gerber with their 1967 Chevy Chevelle Onyx.
We just wanted to take everything that was 67 Chevelle and just make it a little bit better. So the car's kind of a sleeper, supercharged LS motor in it. It's a Whipple charger built by Wagner Motorsports.
The wheels are kind of one-off design that would turn into a production wheel through Forge Line, inspired after late 60s IndyCar type wheel. The interior, I think, really sets this car off. It was done by Avant-Garde in Palm City, Florida.
Yeah, the motor makes about 850, 860 horse. We fed it through a cold air intake, so this intake wraps around and down under, and it's got two Z06 K&N filter elements that come from it.
Performance-wise, it's meant to be driven. Got big Brembo brakes on it.
Best thing about the car is just the way it performs. We put it through its paces to make sure it was right. I hope they appreciate the fact that the car is fairly simple looking, but it's super detailed, and that we came up with a theme, we stayed with it, and I think we nailed it.
Next up is Big Mike and his awesome 92 print.
A lot of time and effort was put into the engine bay. Every bolt on the entire car from top to bottom, subframe, steering column supports, you name it, it was completely redone. These fenders look like an OEM fender, but it's about 45 hours of digital rendering to clay modeling to fiberglass work. The entire car was done by Rywire. It's completely 100% new pins, plugs, and wires. The cooling system, the braking system, everything is completely bespoke. There's virtually nothing stock whatsoever. The motor makes 190 at the crank stock. This motor will make about 420 to the wheel. This car is an amalgam of multiple worlds, from hot rod, trophy truck, Japanese, and personal. Put it all together and you have these cues and touches.
Up next is Cam Miller and his 69 Chevy Camaro.
We'll start at the front. It's a twin turbo LSX 427, all GM performance parts. The motor's been pushed back 4 inches just to get a little better balance and get more room for the turbos. We scratch made all the hot and cold side, 1,230 horse to the crank. When you're in the car, I want you to know you're in this car. So the theme goes all the way through this car. We cut the whole tail of the car off, center fuel. Otherwise, that's it, guys. I appreciate it. It's an honor. I'm glad to be talking cars with you guys, so.
Up on the stage now from the Ring Brothers, a 1948 Cadillac.
All right, so Wes Rydell came to us. He just loves this body style, and he really, really wanted the reliability of a new car. So he brought us 2 ATS-Vs, a 16 with no miles on it, and a 15 to actually use the bottom portion of the car out of. The front and rear bumpers are carbon, the rear fenders are carbon, the trunk lid's carbon. We really wanted to carry the entire theme out that it could possibly be built by GM. You notice all the carbon work on this car? On the left side, it all goes the left direction. On the right side, it all goes the right direction. Goes through the bumpers, through the roof, through the side pieces. Wow.
So up next is Mark Turner's 1958 Jeep FC170.
All right, guys, the Jeep FC170 is an iconic vehicle from Jeep. There's very few of these things still around. Most of them are used in the military. So when I found this thing, I thought it might be kind of nice, but it turned out to be, unfortunately, a basket case. Basically, the cab was in such horrible shape, we had to replace every single corner from the 6 inches all the way down. The roof had rust in it, had to replace all the corners there. The doors had to be totally cut in pieces, put back together, and reskinned. The seats, the dash are all original 1958 stuff. We just covered it with Lamborghini leather. And the reason I did Lamborghini leather is because I love to say Lamborghini, and that's as close as I'm ever gonna get to owning a Lamborghini. I want them to see that the amount of love and care it took to build it. We didn't build it for money, we built it for pride. We built it because it's what we love to do. Every day we got up, we did our jobs, we came at night, and our dream was fulfilled in this truck.
All right, guys, up next is Kyle Tucker from Detroit Speed and his 41 Willis two-door coupe.
A lot of times you don't see a real steel car, and this is a real steel 41 Willis. After the war, it was a cheap car for guys to go drag racing with, and that's exactly what this car did. Came into the shop as a fiberglass front end, fiberglass deck lid, fiberglass rear fenders, and in other words, most of the center part of the car was there, and that's what we had to start with. It's really period correct on the inside. Being a drag race car, I tried to blend in some drag race themes, some modernization, and a car that comes out of our shop has to be functional, has to sit right. It's a dry sump LS7, and everything's just packaged really tight, so we packed a CNR radiator in with an aluminum fabricated overflow tank. It's 550 at the tire, and the car weighs just about 3,000 pounds. Wow. So it's a good cruiser.
Up next is Gordon Ting and his 2016 Prius.
This project started off Toyota, met with me, and they wanted to talk about
the future of Prius, it was pretty easy to think about where this platform is going. It's starting on one end where it's being eco-friendly and you want to save gas, etc. On the other side, it's really leading racing from F1 to hill climbs and etc. It's really trickling down to the middle. So we wanted to use the Prius, it is a hybrid platform, and accentuate what the new Prius's handling capabilities are. We left the drivetrain exactly how it is and really accentuated all the other handling aspects. So a big brake upgrade, Brembo, #1 manufacturer in the world. We got forged racing wheels and a sticky tire setup to allow for the better grip. This is a road handling car. We wanted to keep it simple and keep it somewhat attainable and let people know that this is something that any person can really go do themselves.
All right, guys, up next is Brad DeBerti in his 2017 Ford Raptor.
This is my first build. I'm 22 years old, so I was fortunate enough to be able to do the first 2017 Ford Raptor. To make a long travel pre-runner truck, you actually have to widen the truck to get the travel out of a non-full tube chassis. On the whole truck, I have 4.0 bypass, Fox bypass shocks with 3.0 coils all the way around. I'm a kid, I wanted a stereo, you know, and I haven't seen a pre-runner with a stereo, so I got 3 kicker 12-inch subs in the rear. What a lot of people do with these pre-runner trucks to get 2 tires is they either bow out their bedsides or they do a crazy notch in here to actually get the tire out. Well, if you're looking back here, you're like, hey, how would you even get that tire out? Well, what I've done is I mounted the whole front of the bedside on nylon washers, and I just made a quick pin in the bedside. So now if you get a flat in the desert, all you do is pop out the bedside.
So up next is Jesse Greening with his 1961 Chevy.
I want to tell you a little bit about the concept of the car. Joe Horace, the owner there, had a big grand vision in his head that he wanted a concept vehicle that maybe GM was thinking of back in late 50s or so, and finally developed something in 61. So we come up with, you know, this sport wagon, we've been calling it. With this car being built basically for an indoor show circuit, we wanted a real good show car, concept car type feel to it. So that's where this power hood kind of comes into play. This panel is made to be able to get up at the radiator. All this back seat is all hand fabricated sheet metal. It's a true cruiser like it is. It's just a good ride to it and fun car to drive, easy car to drive.
All right, when we come back, we announce the top 3.
Then it's time to make our way to the SEMA Ignited event. It's all coming up when SEMA Battle the Builders returns.
We're only moments away from heading out to the SEMA cruise. But before we get these engines started, it's time to announce the top 3 finalists.
Then those final 3 will make their way to the front of the line and have the privilege of leading the cruise.
All right, without further ado, the envelope, please, containing the top 3 finalists for the SEMA Battle of the Builders.
Right here.
All right, we can do this.
Kind of nervous.
There we go.
Okay. Now, in no particular order, the first of the top 3, Jesse Greening and his 61 Chevy 2-door sedan.
Congratulations, Jesse. Round of applause for Jesse Greening. Come on, guys. All right, the second of our 3 finalists. No stranger to this competition, Kyle Tucker and his 41 Willis. Detroit Speed.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Way to go, Kyle.
All right, the third finalist for this year's SEMA Battle of the Builders is Cam Miller and his 1969 Chevy Camaro.
Great job, Cam. Thanks for joining us and being a part of this, and we hope that you will join us at SEMA Ignited for the rest of the great evening to see who's crowned top builder.
The SEMA Cruise is the band's opportunity to see some of the world's most incredible cars into the streets. It's basically a mobile art show, showcasing some of the best rides SEMA has to offer.
over the Las Vegas Strip, the parade makes its way to the SEMA Ignited event, where the Battle of the Builders winner will finally be announced. SEMA Ignited is the official SEMA show after party. Once the convention center doors have closed, hundreds of cars and trucks rev up their engines and hit the asphalt on their way to SEMA Ignited, a one-of-a-kind automotive extravaganza.
This is the general public's chance to check out hundreds of customized vehicles, meet with the builders and icons, and help close out an incredible week with one unforgettable party.
How cool is this, right? It started with over 250 submissions, and now it's down to the top 3. And our finalists are about as revved up as this party.
I heard my name called for the top 3, and I couldn't believe it. It was something that I had 2 or 3 other names in mind that I thought I would hear, and it was an awesome feeling. I'm just glad we're here.
Man, I'm incredibly excited. So, yeah, actually trying to contain it.
This is craziness. This is craziness. I'm just so glad to be here.
Who will be the Battle of the Builders champion? After narrowing down hundreds of cars to just 3, we're here at the Specialty Equipment Market Association's after party, SEMA Ignited, to find out who's going to win this year's Battle of the Builders.
And our first finalist is Cam Miller with his stunning 69 Camaro.
Congratulations, brother. What was your inspiration for this build?
The owner gave me and my employees free reign to use all their skills and a chance to use all of our creative juices and mesh them all together and build that thing.
I love it. And from Detroit Speed, Kyle Tucker and his 41 Willis two-door coupe. Congrats again, brother. Now, you've been at SEMA Ignited all 3 years.
And you won the very first Battle of the Builders, so how does it feel to be up here again?
It's awesome to be here amongst your peers and heroes that build these cars and everybody here at SEMA. I thank Mike and Janie, the owners of the car, to come out and let us be a part of this build. It was neat for them to tell us, go do something with it, Detroit Speed style. It's a blast to drive.
It's awesome, man. You nailed it, brother. All right, our third finalist, Jesse Greening in his 1961 Chevy two-door sedan. Absolutely beautiful build, man. Who are some of your inspirations in this industry?
You've got Boyd, Chip, Rob by California Street Rods back in the day. You get to follow that stuff. You had posters on your wall and everything else, and now here we are kind of doing a new thing.
Well, all those guys you mentioned are master craftsmen, and you, sir, can count yourself among those guys, too.
Well, I'll keep working hard.
All right, man, how about a hand?
Jesse Greening.
Nicely done, Jesse. Let's give them all a round of applause right now for making it this far.
So the votes were tabulated by the firm of Moss Adams LLC.
The envelope, please. Thank you, brother. All right, here we go.
Third place.
For the 2016 SEMA Battle of the Builders, please congratulate Kyle Tucker and his 1941 Willis two-door coupe. Thanks, Kyle. Congratulations, man. All right, here we go. The moment that we have all been waiting for. Thank you.
Ooh, it's like triple sealed.
Ooh,
first place. All right, in first place for the SEMA Battle of the Builders is Cam Miller and his 1969 Chevy Camaro.
Congratulations, Cam. Come on over here, man. Congrats, brother. Way to go, bro. How you feeling right now?
Wow. I mean, this is so special to me. Look at this. Me and my crew, just some hard-working dudes up in Logan, Utah. And here we are. Holy crap. My employees worked so hard on this car, especially the last 6 months, non-stop. It's more than just a car. This car has so many hearts and souls involved in it.
You're such a great representative of the hobby, man. Another hand for Cam.
So there you have it, the battle for supremacy here at SEMA.
But this is just the beginning. Battle of the Builders will be back right here next year.
So all you craftsmen get to work, and we'll see you next year right here on the SEMA floor.
Thanks a lot, everybody. See you later.
Did you see Jesse Greenie's wagon? Man, that was sweet. I wonder if a wagon will ever win Battle of the Builders. And Cam Miller coming out of nowhere to beat all the big guns. Congratulations, Cam. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow right here for another episode of Battle of the Builders. For more information, check out SEMABOTB.com. See you guys tomorrow.